coming, and of course welcome. This is actually my riding, Ottawa Centre. It is very important that you're here today and to know that your voice is being heard. What is going on in Ethiopia is a story that too often isn't heard. It is a story that there is human rights abuse. There's the story of the fact that people who are standing up to a government are being jailed. There are journalists who are being jailed. There are human rights activists who are being jailed. Their voice, sadly, is being silenced. But what you're doing here today is giving their voice to myself, to this Parliament. And that's so very important. The idea that those of us who have a voice need to use it, and we need to use it constructively. One of the things that will be happening in the next couple of years before an election is that we, as Canadians, need to tell our government that they need to be clear with the Ethiopian government that we will not stand idle as human rights are abused in Ethiopia, that we will stand with Ethiopians from all sectors, and that when people are jailed for speaking their mind, that needs to be challenged, and it needs to be challenged strongly. And that's where I think it's important for me to know what's going on, and I thank you for that, because without your voice, I'm not able to know to the extent of what's happening in Ethiopia. Finally, I just want to say there is lots that can be done. Being here today is obviously important. Your presence here is important. This is our Parliament. This is our peace tower. We need to make sure, though, that your voice continues, and that every single one of you, engages with your Member of Parliament. For those of you who have me as Member of Parliament, go to other Members of Parliament, because I get it. But go to Members of Parliament and tell them why you're concerned. And at the Foreign Affairs level, it's certainly something we can raise at the Foreign Affairs Committee and at the Human Rights Committee, Subcommittee of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Human Rights. Your voice is being heard. Those voices need to be heard, and Canada must actively engage, because we do give a lot of aid. There is a lot of leverage we have as a country. We need to use that leverage, and we need to make sure that those people who have been jailed and oppressed and silenced are no longer oppressed or silenced, and that Canada can play a role to make sure that that changes. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Now, በተለይ Ottawa Centre, anyone who is living around or just pass the word. If you need an MP that listens, here is Paul Dewar, and I mean, I wrote him a letter from Toronto. He responded to me. If you are in Ottawa, you can imagine.